Hey guys, and welcome to the final part of the Finding Nemo video game. There are only 2 levels left, but next up is Treatment Plant. So as you know, all drains lead to the ocean. And well, that's what we're going through. Even though Nemo doesn't really go through anything in the film, we just see him go down the sinkhole, and then he pops out of that pipe where those crabs are. They've instead decided to make a whole level out of this.
Gotta get out of here. Gil said all drains lead to the ocean.
I'm guessing that's his mind that we're hearing, because otherwise his mouth wasn't moving. But I'm going to assume that was his mind. There's a really tall bit of level there, and I don't know why it's so tall. So the main issue with Treatment Plant is that everything here wants to kill you. There are so many things to avoid sometimes. These things, for example, they're covered in spikes. Doesn't actually matter where you hit them, they're covered in spikes. And a lot of the time I want to know, what exactly am I looking at? Really, what is this thing? I know nothing about how a sewage system looks. It's like, what is this? And how do humans put these things here when they're covered in spikes? So this is really our final level. There is technically another level after this. Whoops. Damn. It even stretches out his bad fin. There is another level after this, but I wouldn't exactly call it a level. In fact, I'm not really sure what you call it. The bonus mission for it is more of a level than the actual level itself. So this is really our proper level. And needless to say, it's probably the most difficult, just because of all of the things you need to watch out for. It is also one of the most annoying when it comes to the bubble rings, and it's all because of one set of bubble rings that I have missed so many times, and if you miss it, that's it. There's no going back. You have to restart the entire level again if you want them. Luckily, I did manage to go slow enough. I did manage to make it, but even plenty of times I have not held down the X button and I still end up missing them. And it's largely also not helped because of the camera just before it, but we'll get to that. They're around halfway into the level, but throughout this level, so many times you are fighting currents. Now, that's nothing new. We've fought currents plenty of times. But here they decide to have you fight the current whilst doing many other things. Mainly, in particular, well, there's stuff like this. You have to deliberately take the wrong route a lot of the time just to get the bubble rings, but because of the current, you can't simply backtrack. You have to take a whole loop again, especially if you miss one like that. So we gotta go and do this again. Look, I'm trying to fight this thing against the current. I think that's the only time I have to worry about that. Currents are all over the place. Does it even count as a current if it's in the sewer? I don't know. There's times where I have to use the dart moves to get past things, as is the case in this particular area here. And then it just sends you all the way back, and then you have to try again. Like this part right here. Make sure you time your dash correctly there, otherwise you're going to miss. This is the pointless area that forced me to go through all of this again. I hate this level so much. I never look forward to Treatment Plant. There's the I did it too late. Let's go back up here. You can get a lot of shells, but the current kind of makes it hard to collect all of them in one go to get all of the bonus points for them. And that was still the wrong way again. The bubble rings, they force you to go in completely the wrong direction. And then you have to do it all over again. On the plus side, I finally managed to get all of those shells. I hate this level! And this isn't even the worst bit. It gets so much worse as the level progresses. Especially, this is technically the final level. In which case, we have to pick up those stones and put them in the beds. And that gets very, very annoying. I'm cutting out quite a lot of footage from that. So last time we're going to see hermit crabs. So last time we're going to see enemies. Again, the final level isn't really a level. Not a boss fight either. In fact, I'm not really sure what you call it. Again, how does this work from a human's perspective? It's like the developers didn't think that maybe we should think about what this looks like from a human's perspective. Because that, if you've got to use those buttons to press that thing, you've pretty much got to get a child's pinky finger in there. Otherwise, you can't really fit your finger in those little gaps to press the button. And by that point, why bother pressing the button? Can't I just turn it around? Look at this. Don't remember, this isn't just a clownfish. This is a baby clownfish. And clownfish already are not very big. Treatment plant has 2 really short 3D sections. Unfortunately, the camera sort of goes down a bit. Right. It's not that part. It's this part's just coming up. Still not that part. When we get to the fan, it's just around this corner, I believe. This part right here. I have missed those so many times. Because by the time the camera pans round, and it's kind of difficult when you're also trying to keep Nemo in the center of the screen while the camera is moving. Because he kind of moves with the camera. And then you don't have very much time to get back into the center of the screen. And you've got to make sure you're perfectly there, because if you hit the walls or anything like that, you're going to end up going into the fan instead. And the fan will hurt you, but unless you don't have any krill, you're only just going to take damage, and that's it. There's no going back. You can't turn around in 3D sections. That's it. And that's why I hate that part. But now we actually have something unique. This is the only time in the entire game where it actually tries to make use of you being able to jump out of the water. This is the only point in the entire game where we've ever had to do this. And I like that. It's something new. It's something we haven't done before. And I messed that up, didn't I? And I do wish these things would respawn faster. Especially when I usually try and go for all the shells as well. Which means I have to wait for these things to come back so I can take out the enemies. Sometimes more than one. And then I have to do it again so I can get the shells. And then again so I can get the shells in the other direction. Got the return of these things. This time it's red. I think it kind of makes more sense having it here than inside a whale. It's like, what is this thing? Because it almost looks like it has like a brush on the end of it, but it's a very solid brush. The center of it's spiky. Is this what an actual sewage system looks like? I'm genuinely curious. And why would the Ninja Turtles want to live in here? Because this does not look good at all. I mean, come on. I'm in a sewer. I'm gumped to talk about the turtles. Even though I have no interest in TMNT whatsoever. Barely made that. Don't go there. That current sends you in the wrong direction. And then you just have some that are utterly pointless. The other problem is you can never really be sure, should I go this way, should I not go this way? The presence of the enemy kind of tells me that that is the right direction, but there could be something else if I continue along the path. There isn't, just a ridiculous amount. I want to know what the maximum number you can get. If you get all of those in one go, how high does the number go? Again, it adds 10 to every subsequent shell you collect. And then trying to get through. That was the wrong one. And then got to try and fight the current, but the time it takes for Nemo to turn around again is going to take you much further away. And there we go. 11 out of 11 enemies. Oh, so now you can go into the foreground, Nemo, just for that. Look, even these things are spiky. What am I looking at? It's kind of like an upper path and a lower path here, but only one of them is actually the right way, which is really annoying. No. Actually, I think there is an upper path and a lower path. You got this thing right here. It has spikes on the top, and I think you can take an upper and a lower path to get above and below it, which makes me wonder what the point of this thing even is. To be honest, I can't properly remember. What I know is this part goes on for a while. We're almost there. There's the end. Come on, Nemo. And there we go. And yay, more current. Easy to miss the bubble ring. I hate this. I hate the sound of the pebble is constantly being bounced around. And no matter where it is, the sound never changes. Like, it doesn't get quieter or louder or anything like that. So all 3 beds are down here. The red one is in the same area as the blue bed. That's nothing new. We've had them in the beds before, but the wrong coloured ones. And now we need to make the circuit because Nemo can't fight the current while carrying this thing. To try and get it into the red one. Dropping it is not the best idea, that's the wrong one, so let's try it again. The red one wasn't that much of an issue. The green one was a bit more, but again, wasn't that bad. It was the blue one that was driving me crazy. I must have been... We're about to cut out like a good 5 minutes of me just going in the same loop over and over again, constantly trying to get the blue one into this gap. I don't know why the blue one was giving me such a hard time. Yeah, you got to take it a bit further, but in the end, you're not doing anything any differently to the blue, to the green, or the red one. But yeah, it took forever, and for some reason, while I was doing this, the sound cut out. So there's no more music playing for the rest of the level. That's why I paused. I thought, well, if I was having so many issues with like the game freezing in Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, maybe it's again the sign that the PS2 is on its way out, and I would not be surprised in the slightest. It's a very old console. I'm also not very good at dusting my consoles. And so I did just check. The disc was still spinning around, but I was kind of worried. Especially when this happened. Like, it didn't go immediately into the thing, into the starfish animation clip there. It went to a black screen for a bit. I thought it was going to end. I thought, oh dear. The disc is not going to load any further. Luckily it did, but the music remained silent for the rest of the level. It fixes itself afterwards, but for the rest of the level it's all silent. Thankfully, we're at the end of the level. But yeah, trying to get those pebbles into those things, it was a nightmare. Anyway, one last little 3D section. One set of bubble rings. Again, quite easy to miss. And there we go. See, the music still plays for this. So I don't know why it isn't playing for the rest of for the actual level. You'd think that when I would have, after that clip, then the music would have started playing again, but no, it didn't. Luckily that's it. The music's back now. And that's it. That's treatment plant. I hate treatment plant. 16 minutes. I get 4 or 5 of those minutes was just trying to get that blue pebble into the gap. And you saw I cut out for the green one as well. It took a while. It took a while. I also really hated this minigame. I'm happy to know it's the last time we have to worry about doing this. But I used to hate this one. Sure enough, of all of these bouncing the ball through the bubble rings thing, besides the first one, this one would actually be the one that would give me the easiest time. It's very simple looking. There's only 10 of them. It's a small area. It's not like trying to get through 80 of them in Jellyfish Race. Or trying to get through all of that complex in Mask Search or all the other ones. So getting it past all the mines. Barely able to see your character in Minefield. It's not even trying to get it through all the obstacles in an actual level like in Training with Gil or The Plan. But what's our main issue been with treatment plants so far? The currents. And sure enough, there's a current. The important thing to remember here is make sure you get these 4 bubble rings that are at the top here, or 6 bubble rings I should say. Get these 6 first, because the moment that ball gets too low down, there is a current, and once it's in there, it's not coming out. It is stuck down there. You are never rescuing this ball after that. If there is some way of doing it, I don't know what it is. So it is, you're stuck down here now. And trying to get the ball through these hoops gave me such a hard time. on my first few playthroughs. I spent so long trying to do this. The first time I was actually trying to go after all the starfish. I hated treatment plant. I hated treatment plant's bonus mission. It's all because of this area right here. You need to make sure you're in the perfect positions. The ball will always go in the same area. Like, it will take the exact same route every single time. So you've got to make sure you're in the right place at the right time so that the ball will bounce off you. But sometimes that happens and the ball doesn't actually bounce into the air. I say air, we're underwater, but it doesn't actually bounce upwards. It just goes backwards. And then you're kind of stuck. But it worked here for some reason. There. I don't know what I did differently there. You just have to try and make the effort to get back, or just try and go past it in the other direction, and there we go. That proves to not actually be that bad. Why can't it always be like that? That's it, that is treatment plant done. It's all over. There's something I don't like about how the level select goes green. I get that it's supposed to mimic that you're approaching the harbour where the water is often green. But it's all bright and sunny at the other end when you go to school. Then it gets darker towards the middle, and then it goes green. I don't know why. I just don't like the green. Even this level has bubble rings. The problem is you have a minute time limit, and I don't think it's possible to go after all of the bubble rings and do the main thing at the same time. Unless you are able to go in the full circle while you're doing it, but you have to really be doing a bit of back and forth, and there's 2 levels of rings. But that's it, that's every single bubble ring in the entire game we've now gone through.
Need some help in here.
I mean, they do come back when you go back into the levels, but you don't have to worry about it then. There are some shells at the bottom here again. I don't know why all this is here, considering that you only have a minute time limit in the level. And it takes a while. You got to tell a lot of fish to swim down.
Hey, need some help in here.
The fish are also different. Like, we just saw them in that little clip then from the film. I don't know what these are. They kind of look like triggerfish with catfish barbs. And then Dory. I do like the fish that the net does actually go upwards. I mean, they could have been lazy and just not have that happen. All of a sudden, oh, it's just going up now. Sorry, Dory, we're gonna let you die. That's your reaction? Oh, darn it. I let her die. Yeah, so Marlin gives you a rough idea as to where Dory is, but he doesn't go directly in front of her. So it's not always clear, but usually you see where Marlin goes and you just sort of have to go with him. But because we're forcing the boat sideways, things are falling off the boat, and it is actually very easy to die in this level. I have spent quite a while in this level before. I managed to do this, excluding purposefully letting the timer run out to go after the bubble rings. But otherwise I did this in one go. I don't usually do that. How are these things still making bubbles? This is not how bubbles work. These things aren't made of air. Yep. Ooh, that was close.
Everybody swim down.
Still gotta watch out. You're not safe until the level ends. Keep swimming. Keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. And Nemo doesn't actually go into the net here, which I'm pretty sure is what he did in the film. And that's it. Well, actually, that's not it. What am I talking about? We've still got the bonus mission to do, and let me tell you, it's more of a level than anything we had to do just then. Fishing Net Rescue's bonus mission. Unique amongst the bonus missions, though it isn't actually anything new. Because this is the only bonus mission that actually involves us putting the coloured stones into the beds. But it also takes a key from Mask Search, in which we're switching between the 3 characters. Dory is the fastest and strongest of the 3. Marlin is a little bit weaker, a little bit slower, but still pretty good. Nemo! I hate Nemo. You know, I don't know if it's just because they decided to make it feel like he's slower. Or maybe because even when I was playing Treatment Plan, I could feel that Nemo was a bit stiffer. compared to the other characters. But that issue is really noticeable here. And I hate taking control of Nemo. Unfortunately, Nemo's the one that you need to actually put the stones into the beds in the first place. Quiet, phone. What are you yabbering on about? You're only supposed to say. You're only supposed to make that noise even if I get a text, an email, or to tell me something about the weather. You have done none of those things. This is not the Legend of Zelda. How many times have I kept forgetting to put that thing on mute? Anyway, and for some reason, as we'll see later on, you actually need to be Marlin in order to open these things. Dory can't do that. I don't know why. Dory is bigger and stronger. She should be able to do that. So I need Nemo to get in there, but Nemo takes so long to get anywhere. I don't recall any part in the film where Nemo is any slower than anybody else. Marlin, I think Marlin's the only one. I don't even think Nemo can go through there. And when you go through that bigger tunnel that I went through with Dory, there is a current when you go through here, so I can't do it because of when I'm carrying the stone. Dory can get through there pretty quickly. Marlin can get through there as well. It's just a little bit more effort. Nemo can't go through here. So now I open that up. You can use Dory to open up the barrel. All of a sudden, the sea is much bluer. It looks like that stone is going right through the hole that Marlin goes through. But don't worry, it isn't blocking it. The stone is no longer there. And it is quite a simple structure, really. And then you can just get all of the stones in at the end. These days, I don't know why those float upwards. They don't look like they should, but oh well. I guess there isn't really any reason they can't. Maybe they're full of air. Just float up to the surface. The only thing stopping them was the barrel itself. So only Nemo can fit through there. I think this is pretty much where I just switched to Nemo, because there isn't really a lot any of the others can do. Look at this! Look at how much slower he is! It's painful how slow he goes. 2 out of 3 of these require Nemo. I think the blue one is the only one that I think you can get away with not using. Well, yeah, because I think the blue one was inside one of the barrels, so if I didn't pick it up in the first place, then maybe I could have used a different character, but anyway. Yeah, so you can get the blue one through without using Nemo, but for the others, I have to. Because I have to use Nemo to get under here. It's a good thing that it stops just a little bit above the ground. And I have to use Nemo to get through this gap here. Eventually, when I get up there, as if I wasn't slow enough already, I got to carry this thing. They couldn't have made him just a little bit faster. Just a little bit. Nemo, despite his fin, swims perfectly fine. You know, Marlin makes a big deal out of it, but he makes a big deal out of many things. In reality, Nemo can swim perfectly fine. You know, there's like the part where he goes, I don't know, what is it about the fin that actually, like his lucky fin, he constantly flaps it rapidly up and down. I never got, why? If it was injured, you think it wouldn't work at all, but in fact, it constantly moves up and down. It doesn't do it in the game, but it does do it in the film. You alternate wiggling your fin and your tail. I can't. I have a bad fin. But it seems to work perfectly fine otherwise. In the end, the fin doesn't actually do anything. The fin is nothing. It's just a little injury that he gets that when Dory gets injured from the mask, it reminds Marlin of Nemo. Is that supposed to be a text reel? I have no idea what they're supposed to be trying to do there. Yeah, you don't see that starfish fall from the surface. It's just suddenly there. Okay, so this is the credits area. So if you go over to that starfish, so the final one, well, this does not look like the first level. Once you go over there, it's like, if you select it without having all of the starfish, it will just send you straight to the credit sequence. If you have all 60 starfish, you'll go in here. And aside from the horror of finding all the Pixar balls here, but thankfully there are no bubble rings, regardless of how big these things get. You also come across these old film reels. These allow you to rewatch the film clips, but you have to be the correct character in order to view them, so you do have to try and get Nemo all the way down here. Only Dory can activate the Dory ones, Nemo the Nemo ones, so on and so forth. Some of them do have multiple characters, some are Marlin and Dory, so they can both interact with them. But then that's it. For the sake of copyright, and let's face it, Finding Nemo came out in 2003, I think we all know the film by this point. And if you exit, then it will take you to the credit sequence. There you just see all the characters. Bruce goes in and out, swims backwards for some reason. We won't see him for a while. Squirt's here, despite the... Well, we never even know which one is Squirt when we're in the East Australian current. No Crush. It's the only time we're ever going to see the tank gang in the sea, though. Unless you count the credits in the actual film, I guess. But anyway, Finding Nemo. I used to like this game. I don't like this game that much anymore. It's fine. It's fine. You know, it's not a bad game by any means. It's a perfectly okay one. But the quality of the levels is all over the place. Like, some levels are way better than others. Sometimes the level can be good, but then it has like this one part of it which kills the entire thing. And you know, a lot of those are the optional things. Stuff to get the starfish, but there are also plenty of things where it's like, did this have to be here? Yeah, I think that there's things like the puzzles. The puzzles are already really annoying, but I feel like they should have just stayed as something for the bonus missions. We didn't need to start bringing them into Submarine and Hide and Seek. And yet the ones from Mask Search and Mount Wanahakalogi are so much easier. It's like, what happened? Yeah, I do think that the game looks alright. The animations and the cutscenes definitely could be better. A lot of the time the characters' faces and mouths don't move. You know, it's a licensed game. It's a licensed game, film tie-in game, and that's usually never a good thing. But as far as they go, this is definitely one of the more decent ones. It's certainly not the best that I've played. But, you know, this one is okay. Quality Assurance Technician is called Mario. Alright. You know, some levels are like actual levels, other levels aren't. They're just these weird little things that go on that barely exist. It's like you have a full-on level in Mask Search, and then all you're doing is just swimming away from an anglerfish, and it's got nothing. You just move downwards every few seconds. Jack Suzuki. Wait, when did my car get into this game? Prince Design. I don't know. Well, I was noticing though when I watched these credit sequences, it actually does say the cast. The cast is all listed, unless I missed something, I wasn't properly paying attention, as the actual film actors. Now with Marlin, I can maybe believe that. Marlin does sound like Albert Brooks, maybe it is him. I do like the idea now that I never really thought about it, that Hank Scorpio and Marlin are one and the same. Albert Brooks has done a lot of voices in The Simpsons, and Russ Cargill in the movie, and a bunch of other things. But like it says Ellen DeGeneres, I don't hear it. I do not hear it. Maybe they... Because surely the lines are the same, so... Most of them are anyway, so why is Why would they perform so much worse here? A lot of the voice acting in this game is not very good. So I don't know, maybe it's just saying it's the voice cast from the film clips. But it's like, I do not believe that that is Ellen DeGeneres. I question that it's Willem Dafoe. Bruce is Bruce, and Bruce sounds completely different in the film clips than he does in the actual film. So I don't know what was going on there. Like, his voice is way deeper. Yeah, featuring the voice talents of Albert Brooks, Willem Dafoe, Ellen DeGeneres. I refuse to believe this. If this is true, what the hell happened? Anyway, the credits then just anticlimactically just cut to black. But yeah, that was Finding Nemo. I don't know why I played this game. It's a game that exists. It's perfectly fine. Go watch the film instead. It's a much better use of your time. Alright, well, that is it. Thank you guys for watching. See you all next time.